entrepreneur always floors me because in a day and age, it's become a little pop culture for us, right? It's become more popular in recent years. And I think what's interesting, if you really look back at history, entrepreneurship has existed since the beginning of mankind. Literally, caveman, for instance, caveman A. Hey, how should we kill that beast over there and provide for our family? Caveman B. Why don't we put a spear on a stick? Great idea. Okay, so I can guarantee you that quite a few cavemen were harmed in the R&D of that solution, okay? But this is so history, right? The fact is, I believe in the 3 Ps. The 3 Ps for me are passion, perseverance, and patience. Wait for it. So, passion, it's the mother of everything that we do, okay? When you are passionate about what you're doing and you believe in what you're doing, you're gonna have the tenacity to persevere when all you wanna do is quit. When all you wanna do is say, I'm exhausted, I wanna sleep. I haven't slept in 5 years, you guys. I've got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I have built this company during nap time and after bedtime. And that's okay. And you know what? I could have run with it a lot faster if I didn't have these beautiful kids, but I do, and that's my responsibility. But at the end of the day, I'm patient with it. I know that if I can wait and build the business to what I want it to be, it's going to happen. When I look at the people in history that I really respect the most, and we've all seen those bracelets, what would Jesus do, right? WWJD. What would Jesus do? I think he is the biggest entrepreneur. He is the biggest game changer that has ever existed. And if we want to look at him as the biggest mentor, he was a game changer. He was a rebel, right? He had different ideas about how to solve amazing problems. And maybe we're still finding solutions for all those problems. We are. I think that's a great inspiration from history, but success is not accidental. So for me, you must be intentional with your days. You have to wake up with a plan of action. View every obstacle not as a problem, but an opportunity to see how quickly you can fix the divergent path. Get used to hearing no, for it's just a suggestion. Ask over and over and over again. We've been told no. We've been finalists for Shark Tank for 3 seasons now. They've gone radio silent on us. I've applied for QVC for 5 years now. Been told no for 5 years. We've been told no for Home Shopping Network. I mean, they say that you have to get a product in front of somebody 7 times before they consider actually purchasing it. So just be patient. I mean, you just have to keep asking the question. The worst thing that they can do is say no. There's a tipping point. All right, so consider like a seesaw. You're down here on this side of the seesaw. You're starting from the ground up. Nobody knows your brand. Nobody cares about you. Nobody wants to return your phone calls to be a manufacturer because you're nobody to them. You've got small quantity orders, but you've got the passion. All of a sudden, you keep asking and asking and asking, and you start building partnerships. You're calling people. You're the ones who are asking for the partnerships. Suddenly, you start to align. Suddenly, people are recognizing you. Oh, I've seen that. The other day I saw during communion a SmarterGarter walking down to get communion with her crutches. And I went, oh my gosh, this makes me so happy. And then I did the sign of the cross and I was like, thank you, Jesus. And then after that happens, suddenly the seesaw tips even farther. Okay, now you're actually looking down and people are calling you. They're calling you and they're saying, Cara, I've seen this product. I want you in Harley Davidson. And I'm like, I'm so busy, I'll call you back. You know, just to make it seem like you can't take their phone call. But the point is, you're so excited, and there's a tipping point. So if you're patient for it, you can actually find that tipping point. You've got to be patient. Commitment to the process is absolutely paramount to the results. So 14 years ago, my purse was stolen while I was in college. I went salsa dancing with my girlfriends. I set my clutch down on the table. It was stolen, and everyone was doing the also fashionable fanny pack. And I said, I just can't do it. So 14 years went by. Now I'm financial analyst, corporate career. I left corporate to raise my babies. And now I'm at the park and I see all the other moms afraid to walk away from their stroller, have something be stolen, iPhone is falling out of their back pocket, they're wrangling toddlers down the slide, somebody's vomiting over here and peeing over there. And, I thought, we all have the same problems. We might not be clubbing, but nobody wants the obligation of carrying a purse. But we all need our necessities. So I went home that night and I grabbed my kids' colored pencils. I can't sew a button on a shirt. So don't worry if you're not involved in that industry. That's okay. If you do the research, you can make it happen. And I literally taped a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag to my thigh, and I stood up and said to my husband with my glass of Malbec, "This is what women need." And I think my husband was like, it made no sense to him. But years later, I did the research. I figured out how to manufacture. Now we've done 8 manufacturing runs in China. Like I said, we've been featured in USA Today, Harley Davidson. We're now sold in 23 countries. And I don't say that to brag at all because, believe me, it is still hard. We are still pushing to actually grow the business, but it's worth it. So I believe in servant leadership. So when you create a product and a service in a company, you have to leave your ego at the door. It's not about you anymore, even though that's your baby. It's about growing the company and solving a problem. So figure out what's your why. Why do you wake up in the morning? Why do you do what you do? Why does your product exist? Why does your service exist? And that will keep you motivated and driven. Customer feedback is going to drive you, and don't be afraid to listen to it. So we actually started out and had a lot of product issues, product defects, issues that we needed to fix. Long story short, now we're on our 4th production or our 4th collection. So if you keep driving and listening to your market, you're going to know where you need to be. Remember that vision is contagious. So if you're excited about your product, other people are going to be excited about your product. In a day and age when you can't turn on the TV without reports of war, death, political battles, people yearn for passion. So never be afraid to share that with people because it keeps us all going. This is what we're driven. Don't ever be afraid to share your passion. You'll be surprised how in a world where 99% of the people want to be similar, that 1% are going to be the game changers and the ones that actually are remembered. So be a game changer, be different. We aren't meant to blend in, and those of us with the desire to drive the change weren't meant to follow the man-made rules of society. Remember that. They're all man-made, except for the ones that God gave us. Everything else is negotiable. I got a light. One of my favorite quotes, and I'll leave you with this, a sale is more than a monetary transaction. It's a transfer of energy. And I love that. You're not selling a product, you're selling the energy. I believe in the grind. So get up, grind it. Welcome to it. Thank you.